Hi, Dick Rauscher here. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Stony Hill Nugget number 261. It's entitled Temptation Exhaustion, a Sure Path to Failure. This particular article was kind of fun to write, in part because I kind of relate to it. In the past, and this is kind of the winter story that so many of us live, and I certainly did for a lot of years, until I discovered that it really wasn't very helpful for me. The winter story goes like this. We're in pretty good shape. We've been out physically active all summer, and we're feeling quite good. We're kind of toned up a little bit, and we go into the winter feeling really good. And then the snow starts and the cold weather hits and the couch calls us. And we end up watching way too much television. And of course, the minute we slow down and turn into couch potatoes, we start watching commercials about really good food. And of course, it's always, looks good because it's a commercial. But at any rate, what happens is we start into the snacks. We've had supper. Maybe we've had a glass of wine, which is a sure way of losing control of our any logical decisions that we make. So what happens is we fall asleep, is probably the best way to say it, and then we end up gaining weight, and ultimately we move into spring pain. Okay, so the progression goes: couch potato, we shut down our ability to pay attention, and then we have to deal with the weight gain come spring. And that's always painful. At least it was for me. Two reasons. One, I was out of shape, and secondly, I was overweight. And so I had to work on both of them. Now, I think that's a pretty common story for most of us, and that's what got me to write this article. So, what is temptation exhaustion exactly? Real simple. It's delayed gratification. And delayed gratification is extremely difficult and limited for the primitive ego of humans. And what I mean by that is our primitive ego is the ego of childhood. And that's kind of the operating system, the unconscious operating system that kind of runs most of our lives until we wake up to it. And I've written a lot about that in other articles. But the primitive ego is and it's not primitive pejoratively. In other words, it's not bad. It's primitive in that it's an ego that we put together when we were really young, when we were little. And it's not very sophisticated, but it is powerful. And temptation exhaustion is the idea that picture the most, picture your favorite food, okay? A high-calorie food. Maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's potato chips, maybe it's crackers and cheese. It's something that you like really well. Maybe it's popcorn with a lot of butter on it, okay? Now, put that food on the table, okay, right out in front of you, and then don't eat it, okay? And don't eat it. Keep looking at it. You might even want to walk around and do some other stuff in the kitchen, but that's sitting right on the counter, right in front of you. If you're human, okay, and I'm assuming that you are if you're listening to this video, eventually you're going to say something like this: well, I'll just have one potato chip, or I'll just have one little tiny handful of popcorn. And next thing you know, you're going to say, wow, I can't believe I ate the whole bag. I can't believe I ate all the popcorn. I can't believe I ate all those cookies. Okay? Now, that's human. And what happened is that you had temptation exhaustion. You can only delay gratification for so long, and eventually your primitive ego is going to say, I don't like this game, I'm going to eat, right? So, let's take a look at a few skills that are quite helpful, and they're pretty logical, but they are very helpful to avoid that story of winter weight gain, okay? So, skill number one, and this is probably the key skill that everything else is going to be based on, and that is, don't bring high-calorie food into your home. Leave it in the store. If you bring it home, you are going to enter temptation exhaustion. You know it's in that cupboard. You aren't going to be able to leave it alone, okay? So the only way that you can avoid temptation exhaustion, or at least the best way, I think, is don't bring it into your house. Leave it in the store. Then you can be sitting there and say, man, I wish I had some potato chips, or I wish I had some popcorn, or I wish I had some cookies. But you can't eat them. Why? Because they're still in the store, okay? They're not in your pantry. That is a crucial skill if you want to avoid weight gain, especially in the winter. But this will work, obviously, year-round. Okay, skills 2 and 3, and these are really important. Skill 1, or skill 2, I guess, is count calories. When a human being has a goal, okay, and then is willing to measure it, you're 7 times more likely to be successful in that goal. So if your goal is to avoid weight gain, count calories. There is no other way to do it if you want to be successful. If you don't count them, your primitive ego is going to say, well, I had about 1,000 calories. Nah, I think it probably was closer to 800, and I can have, I could probably do another 200 or 300. That's a small bowl of popcorn, right? Well, of course, what's going to happen is if you're not measuring them, you're going to fool yourself. Every single time, you're going to end up eating more calories than you really thought you were eating, and you're going to end up in weight gain. Measure it, and your success goes up 7 times. Okay? Skill number 3, and this is a closely connected skill, is write down those goals. Okay? If you write down the goal and put it on paper and then post it in a spot that you see, maybe your bathroom mirror, so you're always looking at it, okay? And then again, move it every once in a while. Take it from there and put it on the refrigerator door. Why? Because the brain stops seeing if it's on your mirror in your bathroom. So if you move it around, you keep bumping into it, okay? Some people say put it on a little card and post it on the dashboard of your car, that kind of stuff. The important thing is you're keeping it in front of you. If you measure it, you're 7 times more likely to accomplish your goal. If you write it down, you multiply another 7 times more likely to be successful. So if you combine those two, it's almost a certainty you're going to reach your goal. Okay, you take it from a maybe to an almost certain probability. All right. Skill number 4. This is really important. Don't put yourself down. If you do, you program your brain for failure. Now, why? Because the minute you start to put yourself down, you start to feel badly about yourself. Your unconscious is saying, I'm a bad person, I'm a weak person, I don't have any willpower, I can't do this stuff, I'm not adequate, I'm not good enough. And the further you fall into that black hole, guess what? The more likely the primitive ego is going to say, I know how to fix that problem, I'll just eat some cookies. I'll feed my bad feelings, okay? And the next thing you know, you're bringing all sorts of junk food in the house because you're feeding that depression, that negative self-statement that you've been creating. So, what's important? Learn to wake up. Pay attention to your negative feelings, your negative thoughts. when you pay attention to the negative thoughts, and you'll have them, we all do, when they pop into your brain, just thank your brain for saying, okay, you're trying to keep me on track, I understand that, thank you very much, but don't go there. Replace that negative thought with a positive self-affirmation. Now, again, we're back to write it down and then post it and then move it around. So you're always, this is a mantra, by the way, and this is one, and everybody should have one of these, by the way. Have a self-affirmation mantra. I'm a great person. I do what I plan to do. I follow through because I know it's what I really want. Blah, blah, blah. You write your own. However, whatever words you need to say to put yourself back into a positive mental state. Okay? Very, very positive, or very powerful, I mean. Successful people, almost to a person, will tell you that they have a mantra that they play over and over and over. They repeat it their whole life. Okay? Now, let me leave you one last thought on this winter story and how to avoid temptation exhaustion. Many people go with the philosophy, well, yeah, I need to cut back on food, I know that, I need to count calories, I know it, I need to write it down, but I'm going to go out and exercise a lot. That means I can eat more food. That is a fallacy, and a lot of exercise people and coaches and trainers are beginning to recognize this. Exercise is great for your health, okay? It is extremely important for your health and for your well-being and having energy and being healthy in general. But it's not so good for weight loss. Unless you're willing to do marathon kind of exercise training, okay? And that's not 3 push-ups and 1 sit-up, okay? Unless you're willing to do marathon level exercise, what happens is that your body automatically adjusts. So what you take in the calories, or you begin to exercise to lose the calories, but after a while your body says, well, this is just normal. I don't have to expend any extra energy. I mean, I'm not going to lose any weight. I don't have to give up any weight because this is just status quo. Food in, exercise out. Food in, exercise out. It's not until you go into marathon levels that the body says, whoa, I got to start using some of this fat for energy because I'm not getting enough food. And then you start to lose weight. Most of us don't do marathon workouts. Most of us do some exercise if we're smart because it's good for our health. But don't count on it for weight loss. If you do, you're going to end up repeating the winter story, and you're going to have weight gain and then spring pain trying to lose it again. Okay? So there in a nutshell is a plan for losing weight and keeping it off. Okay? I have found this to be quite helpful for myself personally. Okay? I hope this has been useful for you. If you find this, if this makes sense, kind of look at what kind of jumps out at you and pay attention to that. And if this is helpful, pass it on to friends. When you do that, you're supporting the work we do here at Stony Hill, and we thank you for that. Okay? Avoid winter weight gain, and have a great life, and we'll see you down the road.